New business? Payment of bills?
Scott, you had some questions on that? Do we want to read the resolution first or have them go through the questions?
2 questions were submitted.
Okay, go ahead.
Board book page 156, Lacrosse, Ian Pearson. The Lacrosse Board of Directors elected to give the coaches compensation using the funds that were donated to the program.
So we use this as a pass-through to make sure that...
Pass-through.
I have a significant problem with the way this is being presented. The administration presented the board that we would hire that person as a voluntary coach, right? And we also have a fiduciary obligation of the expense funds that, like Gary talked about, that go into the, what's the report you give us with the impressed account items or the?
The check
Activity.
listings and the.
Yeah, no, the
Activity account.
activity accounts.
Student activities?
So this money would have had to go either into our funds or the activity account, right?
Yes.
We're actually paying this coach, right? Were we taking a donation from them, which the board has to approve certain amounts, but this is under the amount the superintendent can approve, but we're using it to pay somebody that we were approached to as hiring as a volunteer. So I think if we're changing the status of people, it should be brought to the board's attention and said this was a volunteer coach, but somebody was offering to make a donation, make them a paid position, so that people know that.
I think you brought up the same thing last year.
Well, I'm consistent then, I like that.
And I think the board last year, the same thing, we discussed that at least instead of the lacrosse club or lacrosse parents just paying somebody cash, and by running it through our accounts, at least we're accounting for tax purposes and
I'm gonna
FICA
vote for
purposes.
this, but like I said last year, I think it should be pointed out, we should basically change the status
At the end of the
of a
year.
player by taking a
Volunteer
donation
coach
and we're
getting-
paying them, right?
Getting some compensation,
I
exactly.
mean, do we incur any additional liability? When we pay stipends to our teachers, do you take taxes out of those?
Yes,
Do we take a tax out of this?
yes.
Okay, so then they're our employee then too, right? So it's our paid employee, which could create additional liability than if they're just a volunteer, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think it should be just pointed out. I'm not offended by it, I think it's nice that the lacrosse group had the confidence in the person who was well-spoken tonight, was willing to do it for free, and they were able to give him some compensation for his time. But I think because of the rules and what the board has to approve, the board should always be told when you're changing the status from a volunteer to a paid. To me, it doesn't matter where the money comes from, because it has to run through our funds, right, one of our accounts.
Mhm.
And you also can't tell by looking at this report that somebody donated the money to us to pay for it. It looks like we're paying somebody
For
out of our
lacrosse.
funds that we didn't know about, right?
Yes, on that report, yes. And then the second question submitted was board book page 167 under Jim Ross. This was the vendor that was used for the sound system during our graduation commencement.
And Kevin mentioned that to us that day. Would we rent the system from him or something?
Yes.
Oh, because that new system we put's not good enough and good enough for that.
Chris, why don't you address that?
I mean, it's one of the biggest expenses we have for graduation now, it's the sound system, right?
It is.
Yeah, we have several expenses that are over $1,000 for graduation as well. But we're looking into other vendors. But the Alan who installed that sound system said at minimum we would need a mixer
Okay.
for graduation due to the number of people that are in there and the different lines that are going out for the different mics and things of that nature.
Okay.
And the board, the reason we're looking at different vendors, because I was telling the board the feedback on the stage, but that's because there's no sound panels or anything on the back of the gym, so it's just bouncing back and forth. We had no complaints from anybody in the audience.
No, that's just on stage, and I don't think we're going to be able to get rid of that. Pretty close.
Okay, we need to
Okay.
approve. Yep.
Someone want to read the
Resolved,
res-
Board of Education, Township High School District 2A, Cook County, Illinois hereby approves the payment of bills as presented and listed in the June 12, 2018 Board Agenda Packet.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Go for the vote?
Ms. Sierra?
Yes.
Mr. Smithing?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
And Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.